In the following examples, we're asked to use the grouping number method this time to factor the following trinomials, and in the first case we have 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. The grouping number method always starts the following way. We multiply the leading coefficient, 5, times the constant term at the end and get what's called a grouping number. So we're going to multiply 5 times negative 2 to give us negative 10. Our next job is to find two factors of negative 10 that add up to positive 3. And in this case, we would note that 5 added to negative 2 is equal to positive 3. So in our grouping method, our next step is to split up the middle term using this sum that we just found. And so we're going to rewrite our 3-term polynomial with 4 terms. We'll see 5x squared plus 5x minus 2x minus 2. Note that positive 5x and negative 2x will add up to negative 3x. So we've just split up our middle term. The reason for doing this is because we now get pairs of terms in which we can remove a greatest common factor. We'll note that in the first pair, 5x is a common factor, leaving us with x plus 1. And in the second pair, we'll note that negative 2 is a common factor, and we'll note that negative 2 times x would give us minus 2x, and negative 2 times positive 1 would give us negative 2. This reveals a common factor that we can remove. That is, x plus 1 can be removed using our distributive property. And we would say that x plus 1 times 5x, x plus 1 times 5x gives us 5x times x plus 1. And 5x times negative, x plus 1 times negative 2 gives us minus 2 times x plus 1. This is now our factored form. This next problem, very similar, has some bigger numbers, but hopefully if we're not scared by those, we can note. Our grouping number is found by multiplying 15 times 15, giving us 225. And we would need to find factors of 225 that add up to negative 34. Well, in this case, 225 can be factored in a number of ways. Going through some of the pairs, 5 and 45 multiply to give us 225, but 5 plus 45 is not 34. 15 and 15 multiply to give us 225, but 15 plus 15 only adds up to 30. Systematically going through, we might come across 25 and 9 as a good pair, and we note that 25 plus 9 does indeed equal 34. So what we're going to do is we're going to split up negative 34 using that pair, 25 and 9. And we'll say 15x squared is the same thing as 15x squared minus 25x minus 9x plus 15. And we'll note that negative 34 is the sum of negative 25 and negative 9. We now have 4 terms, and we can factor out common factors from each pair. In the first pair, 15x squared minus 25x shares the common factor of 5x. 5x times 3x gives us 15x squared, and 5x times negative 5 gives us negative 25x. In the second pair, we could factor out negative 3, because negative 3 times 3x gives us negative 9x, and negative 3 times negative 5 gives us positive 15. we see that 3x minus 5 is now a common factor that can be removed using the distributive property. We factor it out, and 3x minus 5 would be multiplied by the quantity 5x, because 3x minus 5 times 5x is 5x times 3x minus 5, minus 3, because 3x minus 5 times 3 is minus 3 times 3x minus 5. This is the factorization that we wanted, and so we're done.